Hey guys, Nico here from The Body Consultants. In today's video, what we're going to touch in on is a little bit around meal timing and meal frequency. So two components to this. Number one is once we've got our daily intake of macros, how do we actually want to split that up into 3, 4, 5, 6 meals for each given day? And number two, at what time should we actually be eating those meals? Should we be skipping breakfast? Should we be having dinner late at night? These sorts of things. Once we've got our macro intake for the given day, let's use for the example, nice 2,000 calorie round number. How do we want to split that up? Now, best bet for most people, especially when they're starting, is we want to take an even amount of calories at each given meal of the day. Now, whether this be 2, 3, or say 4 meals, we want to split it up evenly so that you've got a nice even keel of energy coming in throughout the day, which is going to help offset some of those peaks and valleys when it does come to energy intake and energy levels fluctuating throughout the day. For most people, I find that either 3 or 4 meals works best. Why this is a lot of people have trouble with snacking, right? It's very easy to overindulge in snacking, or you go too long between meals and you start to get a bit peckish and you think, I'll just grab an apple, and next minute, you're eating an apple and a handful of biscuits. So I find removing the snacking works really, really well for a lot of our clients down here at The Body Consultants. Second part with that, by having nice balanced meals, it allows for easy distribution of macronutrients, particularly protein. For the example, if we take a male, that's maybe 80 kilograms, they might be aiming for 160 grams of protein each day. Now, if they're having 4 meals, that allows for a nice, easy intake of 40 grams per meal in an ideal world. And that's going to give them a nice even split, which is going to be ideal for most of muscle protein synthesis and the building of lean body mass, or preserving lean body mass if we're trying to lose some body fat. We've just determined that we need to be consuming 40 grams of protein at each one of those meals. That totals 640 calories from our given day coming from protein. Now, if we split that out to the remainder, let's assign this athlete 80 grams of fat, which is going to be 720 calories, and that leaves us with another 160 grams of carbohydrate, equaling another 640 calories total to equate to our 2,000 for the day. Now, if we split that up into 4 meals, that's 500 calories per meal for 4 meals of the day, and we already know that we're going to be getting in 40 grams of protein at each meal. To make it really easy and simple, we already know as well that we're going to also be having 160 grams of carbohydrate in the given day. So that means we're going to have 40 grams of carbohydrate coming in with each of those 4 meals. And our fat, we're going to divide by 4 also, which leads to 20 grams of fat each meal. So we've now taken this 2,000 calorie diet, which had a total daily intake of 160 grams of protein, 160 grams of carbohydrate, and 80 grams of fat for the day. And we've split that up into 4 even meals of 500 calories each one containing 40 grams of protein, 40 grams of carbohydrate, and 20 grams of fat. Now, for most people, this is going to be an ideal setup, okay? We can dive into the nuances around pre, peri, and post-workout nutrition and trying to bias more of the calories towards that. We can also look at things like carb cycling, so having lower carbohydrate days and higher carbohydrate days and things. But in my experience, most people struggle with being consistent, right? Most people just want to perform well in the gym, have good cognitive function at work, and be really successful and have lots of energy to play with their families and their kids and do all these activities that people love doing day to day. So I like to really try and simplify down nutrition, keep things in a nice balanced ratio where we're not removing any of those food groups too much, and really set ourselves up for success. So by having these 4 consistent meals, it really allows for an easy to manage sort of roster of meals throughout the day. For the example, this person may eat at 7 a.m., then 4 hours later at 11 a.m., again 4 hours later, say at 3 p.m., then they may train at around 5:30 p.m. and then have dinner at 7, giving a nice even balance throughout the day with plenty of macronutrients coming in consistently to allow for all those bodily functions and processes to really thrive. An easy way to change this would be switching it up to 3 meals per day. 3 meals per day, you're just gonna take those same total values and divide them by 3 rather than by 4. Makes it nice and simple. Another common thing that may happen, however, on our 4-day menu, or 4-meal menu, sorry, is that say on the weekends you get a little bit busier. Now what we can quite easily do is split this template up into 3 meals. Now the easiest way I'd find to do this is, again, if you know that you're gonna eat more in those evening meals like I prefer to do, especially on the weekends, then I might remove one of my daily meals, taking me down to just say having breakfast and lunch and skipping that second afternoon meal, and instead pushing those calories into my dinner. Now this is gonna give me 1,000 calories to play with at dinner time, which might allow me to have a beer or maybe a small dessert or something like that if the family is having something like that. It's also gonna make sure I'm gonna get a ton of protein coming in, which if I am maybe having a bit more of a social meal, that 80 grams of protein as a target is a big portion, which is gonna really satiate me and leave me feeling super full. So I may not actually want to have those other calories. If my goal is body composition change, fat loss, the key is we need to keep you feeling full rather than feeling hungry, whilst obviously eating to our goals. So again, if we've got 1,000 calories left for the day and we consume all of our protein and get some good vegetables in first, the likelihood of us spilling over is much lower than if we go and have 3 or 4 beers and then we're trying to figure out what we're doing as a meal. Now, I hope this kind of simple breakdown of how we could lay out a meal and what meal frequency and timing sort of means. And if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask. Thanks again. Bye.